Good afternoon and welcome. It's 5:06 Talk Erie and the Joel Natale Show live from our Kingdom Financial Group studio here at 5th and State. Also live on YouTube and Facebook at youtube.com/@Talk Erie Video. On Mondays, we talk politics. And for that, we bring on the expert, our political guru, Dean Pepicello, the Harbor Creek Township Supervisor. Dean, how are you, bro?
I'm fine. People should not have to see my face.
Well,
there ought to be some moratorium.
Anyway, this is the new
Mondays.
The new radio is TV.
I know.
It's
I can't
like
get used to it.
It's like, just think of yourself as like Jackie Gleason or something like that.
I like to hide behind and I'm on TV enough, right, with a regular job.
Sure.
I like to hide behind the anonymity of, I like to come to work in my underwear. You know what I'm saying, Joel? When I was on the air.
No, we don't want to see that.
No one wants to see that either.
Can I give a shout out for one of your other hats that you wear?
Sure.
We were out at the game Friday night, and you were PA announcer for the Erie Seawolves. You do a magnificent job.
Oh,
I just love hearing. Oh man, there's those velvet tones throughout that big PA system.
This is 25 years. God didn't give me. That's not true. God gave me everything, but He gave me a voice. He also gave me a face for radio, which is why I don't like it on TV. But yeah, I've just done it so long, and what a great night that was Friday night.
I tell you what, did you see the lines at the concessions? I mean, there was just a lot of people there.
Yeah.
Ran into tons of friends and so on.
Yeah, it's going to be a big week. Playoff games coming. The Otters open Saturday, so I've got a busy PA week.
That's right.
This week.
Again, you're the permanent PA guy at the Otters.
At the Otters,
so that's fantastic. So go Otters. All right. Last week was horrendous in politics here in the United States. And I mean, we just were shook. I don't know what your thoughts are. I mean, that's a young man. That's a
31.
That's a kid. He's as young as my children.
Yeah, 31. First of all, we talk about it here all the time, and you're in this business, and the worst events, unfortunately, make the best talk radio. I've talked about that a lot. And it was a terrible event. You guys on Wednesday were incredible. Your raw emotion. I thought Shaney especially, given the ideology of Charlie Kirk, was heartfelt, sad, outraged. I don't know if all of you would say all that, but that came across. I just think that's anybody who you should listen all the time, obviously, but when events like that happen, I just think, first of all, it happened that afternoon while you were on the air, essentially, right?
I got the text as the sounder was rolling at the top of the show. I get the text that Kirk had been shot, and we're starting to scan the stuff. Really, the New York Times was way behind. It was other news, but then you were finding the videos, which were, I mean, no one should watch those videos.
Yeah. I didn't, and I had people report to me who had, and said it doesn't survive, and you don't know that seeing them, not having seen the video. I'm still trying to process this, and I'm not sure where I am yet. Just being honest, the first thing through my mind was young family.
Yes,
right. That was the first thing that went through my mind. Young wife, newly married, essentially, 2 young kids. First thing that went through my mind. Second thing went through my mind was, what are we doing? What ideological assassination? Where am I? What third world country am I in at this point? Then the third thing that went through my mind, and as you've processed the death and the act is a little more political, and I hate that. Right? I hate that we think that way, but we're pushing up on a week now since you have to think about it. I didn't know. I've coached sports a long time, so I know a lot of 20-somethings like that I coached when they were from the time they were 8 until the time they were 18, right? Yeah. And some good families and some good kids, and some of them started to call and text. I didn't, including my own kid. I didn't know how incredibly popular Charlie Kirk was with the 20 and 30-year-old crowd. And he is massively popular. I mean, I knew him, obviously. You see him, heard him here, see him around. But with that crowd, it was amazing to me. And you start to think about if you could name the 4 most influential conservative people in this country in 50 years, who would they be? I would think Reagan would be in the top 4. I would think Limbaugh
absolutely
would be in the top 4. I would think Trump would. I'm not saying whether you like or don't like him or agree or disagree. And I think probably Charlie Kirk.
Wow.
The more that you learn about him, the more the impact that he's had.
Notice you didn't
with
say
young
William
people.
F. Buckley, who basically started the conservative movement. But yeah, I mean,
50 years. Yes, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Maybe
But
I'm a little young for that.
But no, I get it.
Goldwater could be included. Goldwater never won a national office. He was just a vocal opposition.
Exactly.
That doesn't get you at the same pillar. But I think
I mean, you didn't mention Reagan.
I did. Reagan
you
won.
did. Reagan number 1. Okay,
yeah, I would say Reagan,
Yeah.
Limbaugh, Trump, Kirk. And
wow.
Yes, because of the impact he's had, especially in the last 5 years, 8 years, whatever Trump's ends up.
He was 18 when he started that group.
Yeah, that is incredible, and so I think
Didn't have formal education yet.
Didn't go to college.
Self-taught himself.
right.
The depths of the American experiment, of the Constitution. And again, you can disagree with his takes on social issues.
Yeah,
I get that. You don't kill a person for their takes on social issues.
I hope most people feel that way. I guess we could talk about the people who felt justified, but all of those people, Reagan has yet to be replaced. Essentially, you could say, I mean, Trump's not Reagan, right? I mean, you could talk about the ideology, but there's not another Reagan. Limbaugh has not been replaced, not even close in the business that you're in. Trump, give me a break, right? These people are irreplaceable, and I think politically, ideologically, Charlie Kirk is probably irreplaceable. I know what we're hearing today, that this is going to continue, and I saw his wife's comments, and I think some people are very difficult to replace, and the more I learn about him...
the vice president today said he is irreplaceable.
Irreplaceable, which scares the bejesus out of me, because it tells the awful, the bad people on the left, I'm not saying everybody, I'm just saying the bad people, that it's worth it. Right? Don't you hate to say that?
That the assassination did its job of taking out a Mount Rushmore of conservative thought.
Exactly. Isn't that a terrible thing? Like, I think the movement I think it will end up backfiring, but Charlie Kirk is irreplaceable. Like, I haven't seen anyone like him. I mean,
people think about this. 60 years later, people say, I wonder what the 60s would have been like if JFK would have lived.
No doubt. How about if RFK would have lived?
I wonder what the 70s would be like. I wonder what our country would be like if Bobby Kennedy lived, or MLK. You know, if Martin Luther King was able to grow into his 70s.
Sure.
It's true.
And again, I want to be, I'm careful with my words, but Trump twice, basically, at least once, certainly, that we know of. And now the ideological assassinations or attempts. I don't think this is going to stop. There's the point I'm trying to make. I think this will continue.
And that seems to be the conclusion, that it's not the end of a terrible time, that we're going to somehow pivot and you know, somebody was, I think it was on Glenn Beck's show, they were saying, you know, after JFK, MLK, RFK, you had the Jesus movement, in the late 60s. And there was a revival. This doesn't feel like this. This feels like this could be the beginning of a new, darker period. And how do you stop that? How do you mitigate that?
If you have the answer to that, I'd love to know, because I don't know who could possibly have that answer.
I don't know either. Let's get a couple folks to weigh in. We're going to keep these calls real short today. Hi, you're live on Talk Erie.
Yeah, I have the answer. What you do is you speak out and you denounce what the Gannon professor, students, and staff are praising the murder and assassination of Charlie Kirk. That's where you can start.
There's no Gannon professor, Bill, that is on
then
record.
What is he?
He's some part timer that again we can't even.
He works here.
But we can't even confirm. We can't even confirm.
What do you mean you can't confirm it? Ask Dino. I sent him the post. It's been confirmed. That's where you ask the question, where do we start? That's where we start. We start in our schools where these kids are being indoctrinated by these idiot professors. If he's not a professor, he's someone important there. He's somebody important there.
Okay.
Okay?
Thanks.
I have the post. I'd send it to you, Joel, but I don't even think you would read it. But I'll get my popcorn away for you guys to talk about that.
Thank you. All right.
Thank you.
Did you see this?
Yeah, I've seen a lot of posts which are incredibly offensive, improper, and that I think people should have their lives destroyed. Yes, because of it. I can't distinguish one from the other.
Right.
I don't want to. I'm afraid something's AI. Like, I don't want to say something improper.
Right. Yeah.
I've seen a lot. I have seen that potential one he's talking about. I'm assuming it's real. I can't. Again, there's so much junk, man.
Yeah.
But I think anybody I'm with him on that. Anybody who has said that this is appropriate, justified. My goodness.
There's nothing that's justified.
No.
We made that clear. Let's get another quick call here. Hi, you're live on Talk Erie.
Well, Dean, you listed the 4 great conservative influencers over the last half a century. You missed one.
Okay.
Dean Pepicello.
There you go. Yeah.
Little guy in Erie, Pennsylvania. I don't know, man.
Hey, I'm always here to butter you up, you guys, okay? Dean, I'm going to echo your sentiments on the first topic quickly. I know, Joel, I heard you. We're moving right along here. I was just like you. I knew who Charlie Kirk was. I knew he was kind of floating around Mar-a-Lago a lot, the White House a lot. I knew he had a pretty big movement, Turning Point USA. I had no scope. Exactly what you said, Joel.
Yeah.
My kids are in their 30s, and they love this guy. Love this guy.
Yeah.
So then I learned this guy had 80 million followers. I've been told he has 300 employees at Turning Point USA and has a $200 million a year operating budget.
I believe it.
This guy is that is just incredible to start with. Number 2, back to these people. The saddest part, I don't know how big you guys are on Twitter. I'm on Twitter a lot. I don't tweet. I'm there to observe and comment, all right? But, it was abysmal, to say the least. But the saddest part about the hateful comments were teachers, doctors, pilots, nurses. I mean, these are the people that we trust the most in our society, right? Even some soldiers that just can't contain themselves. Yeah. It's just shocking to me that people can't contain themselves. And I guess the funny part is, if I'm watching this spat on Twitter, it's like liberals are shocked to find out not everybody believes what they believe. Right? They just talk to each other. I mean, the first thing I do when I go to Real Clear Politics every day, I read all the negative stuff about conservatives, so I kind of know where they're coming from, right? But they don't. They don't read the good stuff about us, so they don't know. I'll leave you with this. The good news is that as a conservative, the best thing I read last week, liberalism is going to go extinct. They're not having children. Conservatives are still having children at basically the same rate as the 70s,
I saw
and liberals are not even close.
Yeah, I saw that.
So there's hope springs eternal. But that whole week, as you said at the beginning, I still have a punch in my gut over this whole thing. It's just, I just cannot believe what this country has come to for a man who would literally go out and meet you on your own turf and say, whoever disagrees with me, please come to the front of the line and handle them with dignity and respect. And they shot him. I don't know, man. I'll hang up. I'll let the other ones get in. Thank you.
Appreciate it. Bye. That's the issue. Is, I mean, he literally, again, was he challenging, the take of academia and of college campuses? Absolutely, he was challenging it. Meanwhile, didn't deserve
of course
assassination.
I've
Nobody
watched, again, like Phil, I hadn't seen a lot of them. Some. Yeah. I've watched a lot since last Wednesday. Yeah. A lot of minutes of him and in these rallies and back and forth with some of these students and adults. I don't see what these people are saying, hate-filled speech. I don't see it. I see very opinionated. I see Christian. I see conservative. He out-debated all these people. It's like they couldn't out-debate him, so they assassinate him. I use the word they. I don't mean to do that.
It's one person.
Is it? Is it? Doesn't this look like awfully similar to the Butler shooter? And why have we not heard more about that situation?
I found
How
that
did we-
interesting that somebody posted, we know more in 72 hours about this guy than we've known in over a year.
We got
about Butler.
two 20-somethings who were kind of loners and underachievers, like it's very similar. I'm not a conspiracy guy. I hate it.
Yeah.
But it's tough not to
Tell you this,
It's tough not to.
There's something
pause.
about the online life is just scary.
Right.
Discord,
Social media. Still, to me, still the worst invention in 100 years.
Yeah, I mean,
I
you
believe
had
that. I believe
you had both Republicans and Democrats yesterday saying social media is an absolute garbage nest.
Given a voice, it is to people who just simply shouldn't have it in a normal society. They just shouldn't. The hate-filled speech over and over and over and over, and they see it. It's a problem.
We're going to take a quick break. We've got Dean Pepicello with us here. Stay with us. Callers online, stay with us. It's Talk Erie and the Joel Natale Show. Power of love. We could use a bit of love these days here. Dean Pepicello is with us. It's Talk Erie and the Joel Natale Show. Dina, let's get a couple more quick calls before the bottom of the hour here. Hi, we're going fast. So you're live on Talk Erie. Thanks for waiting.
Oh, yeah, Dean. It's always fast with me.
No, it's fast for everybody today. Keep going.
Right. It's a couple things. When they kill a conservative, you barely hear about gun control. They'll say a few things, but it's quiet, especially when they took a shot at Trump. Secondly, if these people are saying something, I don't care if it's my family member or not, I'm going to call them out on it. This is where this has come to. You rejoice killing another American. That's what happened. Terrorism. And one other thing. The biggest thing that Charlie Kirk did was trying to talk logic and facts with kids. And when they didn't like the logic and the facts, that's when the emotions come out and they start yelling and screaming and, slurs and whatnot. And the third most important thing I think we could take from this, more people went to church, more people are talking to one another, maybe trying to make peace. And seeing that this is just because somebody is a liberal or a conservative doesn't mean the whole person is a bad person because they have a certain way they believe. And one more thing too. Notice we came together and we basically are celebrating his life and looking for the positives and not out there burning our cities, breaking things, and just acting stupid and foolish. Have you picked up on that?
Yeah. I appreciate it. Thank you, Gene. Thanks.
No comment. Okay.
No, I appreciate it. No, you're right. There hasn't been major unrest in the streets, which is
And I hope there is.
and I hope that there isn't. Exactly right. Thanks so much, man.
I pray.
I appreciate it. Keep going here. Hi, you're live on Talk Erie. We're moving quick. Go ahead.
Yep, just real quick, I just want to say I'm 65 and I've been listening to him for a year or so now. And
how did you find out about him? Again, how'd you pick up on him?
Because I just cruise through something and see him, and I watch some of his videos, and it's like, man, this guy's really got his stuff together. I mean, he talks to the kids, he teaches them. He doesn't say, hey, no, you're wrong. He says, no, tell me how you feel. Why do you say that? What do you know this fact? He was logical. He was like, he wouldn't jump down your throat. He would just with a smile on his face all the time, and you guys are just saying, he'll never be replaced, which he won't. But just like everything else in the world, hopefully somebody else can come along and step up as good as he was, which will never be. But, keep working with these kids to get them to see the light of the Lord and to see the light of what's right and wrong and not take the wrong way here like some of these kids have been doing, unfortunately. But no, he was a great guy from what I've watched so many of his videos, and kind of wish I made it to, almost like Woodstock. I wish I made it to see him sometime, but, I did not. But anyway, and then one other thing.
Yes, sir.
One real quick thing is, you notice when he got shot or Donald Trump got shot, nobody said a word. All these people up in the Senate and Congress and all that are saying, oh, gun control, gun control. They don't say nothing when it happens to us. I don't understand. It's just a strange world out there. All right.
Thanks so much. Appreciate it. One remark was said that maybe this Mauser was from before there was a gun registration. Basically, it's probably, it could be from the 50s or early 60s, like before they started tracking guns. I mean, it's that old.
No, I hadn't seen
30-06, yeah. That was one of the things. I got like 1 minute, Dean. Again, very emotional. A lot of folks really disagreed with Charlie, but again, universally, except for some of these crazies online, universally, you don't shoot somebody for their opinion. You just
why do you even have to say it?
Why do you have to say that?
Why do you have to say that? Why, that isn't it remarkable that you have to say that?
Yeah.
And this wasn't a, John Hinckley. I guess you talk about maybe people are mentally deranged or they're doing it for attention. This was an ideological hit. This wasn't even an elected official. Not even an elected official.
That's what we kept on saying. Is like, there's nothing here. He had no power.
Exactly.
He had a voice.
A very powerful voice.
Very powerful.
And I think there were some who felt that he'd made inroads. He's changing. He was changing young people from liberals to conservatives by speaking the truth, I think. By speaking honestly.
They're saying that he ran the canvassing campaign of the Trump 2024 and was effective.
And I think it's a threat. Again, I'm not a conspiracy theorist. It only takes one person. I get it. There's 330 million people in the country. But I think he was a threat. And instead of debating him, they were losing the debate. You ever seen people debate him? They don't. Most of these people don't even know what they're arguing about. They just read it online or heard it on the nightly news. They couldn't debate at all. This guy it wasn't even that hard. But that's how they're going to silence people now because they can't out debate him. That party's got trouble. I'm sorry when you look at the politics of it. Yeah. That party today has trouble. And John Fetterman's saying it. Heck, Sam Tellerico's saying it locally. So
really, wow.
Yeah. Not about that particular, about the registration issue.
Yeah. Right now the Republicans have a lower approval rating by Harris polls than
Republicans.
I'm sorry, the Democrats.
Yeah, I'm not right.
Than Republicans and Trump. It's Talk Area, the Joel Natale Show, 539. Dean Pepicello is with us here. He is our political guru and Harbor Creek Township supervisor here. We're live all over the place. And Dino, again, a lot of, when you start breaking down, this aftermath here, we're not having a kumbaya moment.
No, it's not post. It's not 9/12. It's not September 12th.
No,
is it?
we're hugging the flag, and there's just a lot of fear. There's a lot of anger. And just raw emotion that's coming around, and it's hard to wrestle with. When you think about this act, and we wanted to say this deranged individual or whatever, but when you start digging in, you're like, I don't know, he got a full ride that he squandered from Utah State.
Well, good grades doesn't make you a good person.
No, you're right. Yeah, that's what's going to come out is what was the motivation? Why would he do this? What was he trying to prove?
Well, I think he made it very clear. I think he made it very clear to family and friends and coworkers and his apparently transitioning roommate or whatever that has come out and said he ideologically left and has gotten worse in the last few years. That was at least that's what the FBI is reporting.
Right.
I think you know what the motive is. That's my guess.
That Charlie was saying something he disagreed with that he considered offensive, and he needed to take it out.
And he was motivating millions of young people to switch their ideological affiliation from liberal to conservative after hearing someone speak sensibly and making up their own mind. Yeah, I think it's an ideological assassination. It's incredible that we're saying it, but it's true. You guys were having an interesting conversation off the air about, we had this discussion internally. Is it a First Amendment right if one of our employees went out and put up one of these awful memes? There's a lot of bad stuff being said right now. Mm-hmm. A lot of stuff by people who are employed by other people. And we had this discussion over is would it be their First Amendment right? No, I think you work for our organization. And if somebody were to put up some sort of celebratory whatever celebrating this act, we would you'd be fired. That's just me. I'm only one of three. I'd be firing people. I just don't think you work. I sign your check, right? So you work for me. So I think these things really bother me. It's the reaction that's really bothering me. Again, my problem with social media is what you're seeing now, in particular, the aftermath. So there's a lot of that going on. Was it Phil that said doctors have been fired or called out?
Pilots.
Exactly. Yeah. We've got a Secret Service agent. Mm-hmm. For goodness sakes, it's an interesting argument as to First Amendment. How far can you scream? You can't scream fire in a crowded theater.
Right. How
far do you go? You work for someone else, but you have First Amendment rights. So you've got a whole nother issue of things that you're dealing with in the aftermath, and every bit of it's bad. Every bit.
It is. It's hard to get your. It's not hard to get your arms around of something that just is really disturbing. The whole thing is disturbing, and again, I wanted to ask you about your thoughts about the wife coming out, and basically, the tears of this widow will be a catalyst, basically, for a movement.
Yeah.
And then the whole idea that Turning Point has gotten over 30,000, maybe it's up to, somebody said 70,000 requests for chapters and things, that something has been unleashed by Kirk's assassination.
I think that's true. I think all of that is short term. If his wife wants to become the face of the movement, that might be one thing, but I don't know if that happens. So I think all of that is short term. The news cycle on this will be short term, like everything else. We'll get through Sunday's ceremony. And next week we'll have moved on to something else. Mm-hmm. The mainstream media will have moved on to how awful Trump is. And here we go again. But every movement, Joel, has to have a leader. It must have a leader. There is no movement without a leader. None. It doesn't exist.
And he had an operational structure that seemed to work well.
Fine.
But he was the guy.
Exactly.
He was the product.
You must have that leader. If no one from Turning Point can replace Charlie Kirk, and I'm not sure it can happen. I get that the movement will swell, and those people won't go away, but it has to be a movement that continues. I don't know if it happens without him. I know it happened today, this week.
Then what is the counter to that as well? Like, again, I'm trying to understand if we are on the precipice of a new dark age in America. I mean, I don't know if, did I tell you this? I watched the 4-part series that was on CNN some time ago about 1968. And those were some horrible times. I mean, it was one thing after another. We were the Tet Offensive, the middle of Vietnam. They're burning their draft cards. They shot MLK. They shot RFK. Literally thousands and thousands of National Guardsmen in the streets of our major cities. Is that what is, talk about Chicago and the DNC, the Democratic National Convention.
Okay.
I mean, is that what we're looking at now?
Well, for historical perspective, let's look at it. The country then doubled down on LBJ, won huge elections, right? Won by large margins.
Well, no, this is after LBJ got out. They voted for Nixon.
Right, but not after Kennedy.
You're saying after JFK.
After JFK.
Yeah,
sorry,
exactly.
after JFK.
But I'm talking about 68 and Martin and Bobby.
Okay, but here's my point. So there's outrage over the killing of
the president.
Let's say they were liberals, right? If you look at let's look at those people. Okay, political assassinations. That movement for a while took hold. The Democrats were in complete control, won large majorities in the House and Senate, if I remember. LBJ won a massive re-election in his time that he, right? So all of those things, and they put all the Great Society came in, like this whole liberal agenda. You would say there was this swelling of support for the liberal movement. Mm-hmm. Let's say it's because of the assassination of those people.
Well,
I think
again, just to be clear, JFK was in 63.
I know.
LBJ and all Great Society was 64, 65.
That's what I'm saying.
But in 68,
I know.
It all crashed.
I'm getting there.
Yeah,
but I understand.
Sorry.
So that's okay. So I think that you saw a bump of sympathy or whatever. You put all these policies in place that were very liberal, and people repudiated them eventually. Okay, then the tides turn. So my point is, will you see a groundswell now of conservatism because of the attempt on Trump's life and now the assassination of Charlie Kirk? Will you see that swelling, and how long will it last? It could happen. It could happen. It's very tough to happen without a leader. What would this country look like today if Trump had been assassinated in Butler?
Oh my God!
Would there have been a groundswell of conservatism, right? Because I'm going to show the world I supported that guy, and I'm being punished because I supported him. Like you took him out, or it would probably be chaos. Honestly, the country probably would have been in chaos. I think, but that's my point. Will there be a groundswell of conservatism because of this assassination or not? That's
I guess.
Will it look like? You don't know that yet.
We don't know anything yet. Yeah,
and it's terrible that we're even having this conversation. I wish we weren't. We should just be talking about the human being. It's impossible to do, unfortunately.
Yeah, the ramifications of this act that has rocked basically the world. Let's get a couple quick phone calls before the end of our time here. You're live on Talk Erie. Got to move quickly. Thank you. Go ahead. Okay, you're not there. Hi, you're live on Talk Erie. Go ahead.
Hey, hello. I'd like to remind people that we do not have a system that accurately tells us on the media what happened. If you go back to the Kennedy assassination, they had all these photographs of Oswald with a gun. He's passing out pamphlets and all this. And turned out he worked for the CIA, and it was just set up. And the same thing with Martin Luther King. They had this goose chase of James Earl Ray all the way over through Canada and Europe. and his wife sued the government. Now, this wasn't in the news, but in the 90s, you can look it up. She sued and won and said the government did it. And Bobby Kennedy, he was shot in the back of the head, but Sirhan stood in front of him. And there was a big storyline about Sirhan. So,
I got to keep going here. Thanks for the call. I appreciate it. Yeah, these are just unsubstantiated conspiracy theories. I'm sorry. When I have a minute, I'll talk about it. I got 3 minutes here, and 4 minutes. It's like how do you go from here, right? I mean, is this going to be? I mean, will there be retribution? Will there be a culling of? I mean, what are we looking at here? I mean, does anybody know?
You hope not. You hope not. Is every politician looking over their shoulder today? Well,
they are trying to get another $53 million for security.
Yeah.
I mean, they're definitely concerned.
And it's not just politicians. Is it everybody with an opinion? I think you bring me on here to talk politics, and there are politics related to this, I guess, and it's what I'm most comfortable with. I'm really uncomfortable with the interpersonal stuff.
Yeah.
I think it will be interesting politically. The Democratic Party in this country has no leader.
Right.
They are rudderless. John Fetterman called them out yesterday on State of the Union.
Yeah, what did you hear? What was John saying?
Their party is lost. They have no leader. They are lost. They are still into this wokeness, men and women's sports, all of those things. That's what he said. I don't have Sam Tallarico's comments in front of me, and I don't want to take them out of context. But he was talking about Erie County is only a few thousand people from flipping from blue to red.
Yeah, we're seeing that.
Erie County, Pennsylvania.
Scott Pressler and that Cody fella, I mean, there's a lot of effort because this is that bellwether county, right?
So
they've got to focus.
When you look at all of that, you look at a leader of this Democratic Party who clearly is going in the wrong direction. I talked last week about I think some of the older Democrats are going to let this thing fail. They want the socialists to get elected. They want all these lefty things. They want their party to fail so they can rebuild it. And then you pile on top of it an ideological assassination, all of those things. I'm not sure where the Democratic Party goes today. I don't know what this guy was registered. I don't know any of that stuff.
Yeah.
But clearly it was an ideological hit. Like, that is clear. Where does that party go? So you ask, what does it look like politically? Something I understand a little more than not. I think that party's in more trouble today than they were a month ago. And that's incredible to me. If Erie County flips registration, what does that say for, as Erie goes, the nation goes. Yeah. So what it says to me is you got a party in huge trouble, and they just exacerbate it with this awful event. I'm not trying to say they're related. I'm not doing very well at this, but I think we'll have a political impact. You asked me where it goes. There will be a political impact of all of these things.
Short term, I asked the congressman about whether there's a government shutdown, because literally I'm listening to a podcast, Ezra Klein, New York Times, saying he is advocating for a shutdown as the only lever that the Democrats have to stop, according to Ezra Klein, Trump's authoritarianism. Obviously, Mike Kelly says that, well, that's crazy. Don't do that. And, I would imagine that a lot of folks in D.C. are like, I don't know if I want to go there.
Oh, I think it's incredibly likely.
That they shut it down.
Yeah. What's Trump care? He's got his support anyways.
Yeah.
So I don't think it affects him at all. And the Democrats have no cards to play. So they might as well say, well, it's Trump's fault and try something else to blame him. I think it's more likely than not at this point that they dig their heels in.
They dig their heels in and have a major shutdown.
I can see where Mike Kelly says, no, I don't think it happens. Of course he would say that today. But I think it's more likely than not at this point, if no one's going to budge, that they both take their chances and hope they don't get punished for it.
30 seconds. Are you getting your ambulance out in East County?
I believe so. We got
So who cut the check?
I got a grant agreement from the county. I came from a
from
worker.
The executive branch?
I have no idea. The council allocated funds at some point. The county executive signed off at some point, and I believe we're getting an ambulance. So We're
Yeah,
thankful to
if you're
everybody
going to give
involved.
West County one, you got to give the East County
We'll
one.
save lives. Your lives will be safer because of it.
Exactly.
I'm going to thank everybody at the county. I don't know who ultimately funded
That's
it.
right.
Thanks to whoever
Everybody
did.
in that courthouse, we love you.
I love them all. I love them all. I appreciate them doing the right thing.
Don't you think that maybe our conversation last week had a little to do with that?
Maybe. I don't know. It was a political stare down, and I'm glad they got it done.
We'll take the credit. Thank you, Dino.
All right.
Thanks for so much to come on what is obviously a tough time.
It's tough to do. It's tough for me to do. It's tough for anybody to do, I think, in this business. Yeah.
Thanks so much.
You bet.
Well, it's been a big